And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, Gungans, droids, Kiari-Mundi looking Conads, to today's video where you and I are going to be ranking all the Omicrons from best to worst in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, actually staying on schedule. It's been 3 months since the last time we made this video, and I went to the greatest mountain up on high. I asked the multiversal video gaming gods to give me the commandments for this month's June 2024 Omicron rankings that we're going to be discussing here today. Kind of a perfect time because we're right about the end of this season of Galaxy Heroes, waiting for what's next. So a good time to kind of summarize what's been going on. But before I do so, just want to give you guys a special thanks, as always, for being a part and supporting the series, where last time we got 66 trillion views. I know the view counter's off and 2.3 billion likes. Something's off with it. I don't know what's going on over there. Must be YouTube trying to suppress the king of Triple. It's only 66,000. Should be 66 billion. Anyways, another time, another problem. But let's go ahead and show the graphic on screen really quickly here. There will be a link down below if you want to download this onto your HoloPad. But also, always want to try to make sure I get this as much attention as possible. If you also go to the link down below, you will find the ultimate Galaxy of Heroes spreadsheet here. I'm trying to figure out how to find a way to make it so it's more easily obtainable, not obtainable, more easily searchable. So in case you're not watching a channel, there's a way to search this up because it's got a lot of goodies on here, and I will be adding this graphic here momentarily. But here as well, you can find other things such as our all teams ranked, which will be updated fairly shortly here, all the Zetas ranks, all that fun stuff. And on top of that, been making an effort, probably got to go back and kind of update some of the older stuff, but also kind of adding things like modding info as well as Omicron Zeta parties for when you're building up teams. So a lot of good stuff here, and it's only getting better as time goes on. But speaking of better, let's go see how much better did the game get in terms of the characters since the last time we made this video. So Gary, let's go. You ready? You ready? I don't care if you're ready. Just freaking play the gameplay. Bring them on over. All right. So you know the drill. We're going to go through all the different game modes. There's been a lot of interesting movement with the Omicrons, and I'm going to be surprised if you guys still like me by the end of this video, because I want I want all samurai slaying a lot of the rankings here, and really kind of getting aggressive by demoting some people that I don't feel truly deserve where they need to be. But while we do that, we got to first kind of talk about the new stuff on the list. Darth Bane. Oh, yeah, baby. I know you guys are a little mad because the last time I made this video, Bane wasn't quite out. And you're like, oh, couldn't you wait a little bit longer? Well, don't worry. He's here now. Darth Bane is, wow, one of the biggest characters in Galaxy of Heroes history. Pre-Omicrons, pre-Datacron. This guy's dunking on most Galactic Legends and most teams in the game. So I'm happy to say Darth Bane is bottom tier. No. I'm kidding. Come now. Don't hate me yet. We didn't even get started yet. No. We have two Darth Bane Omicrons that are going to be extremely important for Darth Bane that you can see in the Kyber tier. So I kind of rearranged the rank instead of S tier and F tier, which was confusing people. Let's just stick the Galaxy of Heroes Star Wars theme. Kyber tier, Erodium, Chromium, Bronzium, and then Carbonite tier. So right now, Kyber level Omicrons for Darth Bane has to be the two that he has on the Rule of Two, as well as the other one being Essence of Dominance. Those are really the only two Omicrons you need. Yeah, he's got them level at Whirlwind, but if you're on a budget, which most of us are in Galaxy Heroes when it comes to resources, that's the point of the game, I'd say skip out on it. Unless you're using it with Sith Eternal, which you shouldn't really be using it with Sith Eternal inside of Scandroid. He does pretty much everything he can do with Sith Eternal, and it's a lot more banging on the buck, if you tell me, my friend. Now, that's going to be Darth Bane. Let's move on to the other new additions to our Kyber tier. We have ourselves the other Conquest character. We have ourselves Queen Amidala. Now, Queen Amidala is kind of interesting here because generally with these new characters, legendaries, Conquest, usually the lead is the first you got to go to. Queen Amidala, oddly enough, the lead's the last one you're going to want to go for. I highly recommend you place her Loyal Bodyguard first. It gives her the pre-taunt, basically. It ramps up the critical damage and mastery, immune to fear, and healing immunity. And the great thing is, she doesn't even need to be with her in the lead. You can throw her in with the Galactic Republic team anyways that doesn't have Queen Amidala in the lead. As long as there's no Galactic Legends or Scoundrel allies, this unique ability is going to be crazy powerful. I just showed the other day Queen Amidala with General Skywalker. I think it's only going to get better in Grand Arena because you're going to already have the tank up. You're going to get extra critical damage and mastery, immune to fear, and healing immunity for gas. So keep your eyes peeled on that. People are wondering, what can I do with Queen Amidala without Padawan Obi-Wan, Master Qui? I put a card in the top right-hand corner. I think we're going to have a big opportunity. Gary, what the heck? Put the thing on, buddy. You're driving me crazy here, man. Sometimes I swear, Gary, you know, get out. Just get out. Anyways, go for the unique ability first on Loyal Bodyguard. Secondly, I recommend you get the I Am Queen Amidala. It has the cooldown increase. Great. It's already got a buff to spell before the Omicron, but this is going to give you a lot of buffs for the team and a lot of debuffs for the enemy team. So another great ability to have. And then Queen Amidala, the last thing I would recommend, it's really her leader ability, which, as you see, we're going to put her leader ability a little lower inside of the Erodium tier, which, again, is all right. But, again, you don't really need it. It gives a couple of extra bonuses if you're an attacker, a healer, if you're in a tank. It's not bad, but not as transformative as some of the other stuff. Queen Amidala, new to the game. We're already seeing her making a lot of plays, and I only can imagine it's going to get better in the future, my friends. Now, one more big character we got to kind of discuss here is going to be Jar Jar Binks, everyone's favorite legendary character, right? Everyone's favorite Star Wars character of all time. Jokes aside, Jar Jar Binks, we're already seeing the Gungans do a lot of great stuff before him, and with him, it's getting even better. Where Jar Jar Binks, the first Omicron you really want to get on him is the Big Boomas, which dispels protection up on enemy. They lose their max health, they lose their max protection. He can reduce the cooldowns on other Gungan allies. Very helpful stuff here. And also, the Mui Mui I Love You is going to be the other one you want to lock in, where this allows the shield generator to get even more important for the team, even more durable. Because, again, the Gungan identity is, as long as the shield generator's up, they're going to be kicking butt. So you need to get the shield generator down fast. But if you get more shield generator stacks, you're good to go. And then the last Omicron, as you can see, throwing it in the Erodium tier, Misa Okide. Again, it's all right. You can reset Jar Jar's cooldowns, whatever the shield generator, use the plasma pulse. And the most important thing really is that the team, the Gungans, they're immune to a daze, stagger, and stun. That is really the big deal for the Omicron. So I wouldn't say it's quite Kyber level, but definitely an Erodium level nonetheless. So that basically encapsulates the Kyber additions for the Grand Arena Omicrons here. A lot of big stuff over the past couple of months. But now we move on to the Erodium tier. And this is where I had to kind of have a conversation, a heart-to-heart with myself here. We have Dr. Aphra knockdown. I hate to say it, but yeah, and I try not to take Datacrons into consideration, but the fact is Datacrons are here. And I just feel like unless she gets her Datacron, she's not very useful. And again, this graphic is mostly looking from an endgame analysis. So it's kind of got like a trickle-down effect. So if it's good for me, it's going to be good for you. I'm just not getting a lot of use out of Aphra. Not that she's trash, but I don't think her Omicrons are quite Kyber level. So we demoted pretty much her main Omicron that made her special into the Erodium tier. So maybe you guys can agree with me, maybe you'll hate me, but I don't think she's quite up there with things like, you know, Bo-Katan, Reva, Treyas, Malicoses, and obviously the things of Bane and Starkiller and whatnot. Hopefully you guys agree. If not, let me know down below. But new to here, we already talked about Queen Amidala and Jar Jar's Omicron, but what's new to this list is upgrading the stat to this Erodium level, the Omicron experience here. Now, last time we made this video, the stat Omicron was brand new. We didn't really know what to expect. We didn't get to try it out. Well, as we've seen, Grievous is a lot more powerful in Grand Arena, even without the Datacron, because basically turn one, you are going to be doubling the health on General Grievous. That is a big deal. That means more damage for the team. So very happy with it. Not quite Kyber level, unless you consider the Datacron, but we're trying not to consider Datacrons in this evaluation. Another thing we demoted here, two things, from Erodium down to Chromium, the Zam Wesel Omicron and the First Order TIE Pilot Omicron. Again, endgame analysis, I'm not seeing TIE Pilot's Omicron being utilized nearly as much. Same thing like Zam Wesel. There used to be a period of time where I was always using Zam Wesel Omicron. Not as much nowadays. Not to say you can't use her. At times I'll use her with bounty hunters against Lord Vader, but often I'm not seeing that too often. Since Bo-Katan came to the game, I'm seeing less Lord Vaders on defense. So, and just in general too, there's other bounty hunter compositions to use that don't really need Zam Wesel. So again, if you're into early mid-game, Zam Wesel's great, but again, I'm not seeing too much action out of her. And then there's that Malevolent Whirlwind Omicron that we discussed. Going further on my rampage, I demoted Chief Chirpa and Akbar down a tier, going from Chromium down to Bronzium. Again, I'm just not seeing that much action at all in endgame. Again, if you're early game, you're going to get a little bit more bang per buck, but when you're playing peak to peak in Kyber, I'm not really seeing the value in it. Not to say you don't have value, or if you just have Ewoks and Rebels, leftover Rebels, and you want to try to take some mild advantage of them, you can, but in the Grand Arena where I only need X amount of teams on offense, X amount of teams on defense, and then maybe a little bit for cleanup, they're really ever on the forefront of my mind. And then lastly, we demoted Tuscan Chieftain again since the last time I made this video 3 months ago. Tuscan Chieftain now going down even further to Carbonite. The more I look at it, they really screwed over this Tuscan Chieftain guy. They paired his Omicron only for 3v3. Problem number one. Problem number two, it only works with Boba Fett's Sign of Jango, which is one of the least loved Conquest characters, least valuable Conquest characters. And furthermore, the other 3v3 Omicron we have is for the Tuscan Raider, and Tuscan Raider takes the place that Boba Fett would be in. So if Tuscan Chieftain maybe had a 5v5 Omicron, this might be a little bit better, but for right now, unfortunately, we got to put Tuscan Chieftain dead last. Just get the Tuscan Raider Omicron. No point in getting the Tuscan Chieftain Omicron unless you're hell-bent on trying to make Boba Fett better, but then the team's just not as good on defense. Anyways, that's going to be our grand arena listing right there, but let's move on to the next part where we have Territory Wars. Now, Territory Wars, not too much has really happened here since the last time I made this video. The biggest additions being Boss Nass, as well as Master Qui-Gon, which both of those guys, we're going to throw them in the Erodium tier. Very good. I would say they might be a staple in the future of Territory Wars here. A little too early to tell at the time that they're standing, but we've seen them quite a lot with Queen Amidala. They make the Boss Nass with the Omicron. The Omicron makes the Gungans a lot better inside of territories, even though they're already pretty good. So wouldn't quite say they're Kyber level where they're defining the Grand Arena or the Territory War experience. But let's wait, maybe a couple more months once they've had a bit more time to settle. It's only really been a few weeks with their Omicrons. We'll see them be maybe a little bit more cemented as a top tier. But right now, Erodium is definitely nothing to scoff at. Very solid Omicrons. Makes your Queen Amidala and your Gungans even better outside of Territory Wars, or Grand Arena, I should say. And then the last two things we got to talk about. Let's just bang them out both at once. This one's going to be an oddball one. Gosh. I don't know what to say here, people. Territory battles, galactic challenges, conquest, and raids. So the new territory battle one is going to be Captain Tarpals, and it's so weird because not a lot of people have Gungans right now, and you probably have other teams you could do territory battles with, and Gungans are already okay without the Omicron. The only thing that Captain Tarpals really adds that maybe makes him a little bit better, and again, it's not horrible, but it's like, you know what I'm saying? There's already enough teams that you might have, but nonetheless, if you do want to go for territory battles, make your Gungans even better. The best thing about the Tarpals Omicron is that while he's in territory battles, whenever he scores a critical hit, he's going to add a stack of plasma shielding to the allied shield generator, meaning it lasts longer. They're pretty much great in territory battles until the shield generator goes out. So it helps them maintain that marathon-like experience, because otherwise the enemy hard codes themselves to go straight for that generator, knock it down fast. So this is the way to keep the generator up lasting a lot longer. But again, you probably have other Omicrons, other teams that you'd rather invest in or that you already have. I'm not too sure about this. Maybe when there's a world where we really get stretched out among a lot of planets, I can see if it more value. But again, I already feel like I'm getting 80% of the viability of Gungans already pre-Omicron. But then the other things that we went pretty crazy on here are the other random PvE Omicrons with the Conquest raids and the brand new Galactic Challenge Omicron. So first off, I knocked down Shorty a tier. Her Omicron, it wasn't already highly ranked before. I'm ranking it even lower. It's just, I just stay away from it. It's not going to make your Conquest better. It's just not. I had it at the Chromium tier. I just brought it down to Bronze just to make sure people don't invest into it. But in terms of the other new Conquest Omicron, we have Padawan Obi-Wan Kenobi, which is taking the place of Shorty. Again, I don't recommend Conquest Omicrons. Right now, there's not a lot of incentive to it. It maybe makes your life mildly more convenient, but not by that much, where you're much better off investing in Grand Arena or territories, or heck, even a territory battle Omicron. It's nice that Padawan Obi-Wan can contribute towards those random feats that exist out there for the buffs and debuffs and whatnot. I will say this, it's the first Conquest Omicron, there's only been two, but I was like, I can kind of see the benefit out of it, but I still wouldn't recommend it fully, so we're throwing it into Chromium tier. And then Shorty, as I said, we knocked down. Knocking down Scout Trooper because we're coming to the tail end of this raid within the next month, is my guesstimation. We're going to be heading into the next raid for Naboo, and then that means, you know what? The previous raid goes out of favor, out of style, and all the Omicrons you invested into it, garbanzo means. I'm actually pretty happy I didn't invest in a Scout Trooper Omicron this time. So again, the raid Omicrons are weird. They only have a couple months of viability, and then that's it. And then we'll talk about that other one that's all the way at the bottom now. Then Gungan Phalanx. Oh, gosh. Galactic Challenge Omicron, our first one. Do I really need to talk about it? Just don't invest into it. I know right now Gungan feats are hot, but likely a lot of you guys don't already have a full team of Gungans anyways that are even up to high gear levels. I even for the foreseeable future, once in a world where everyone does have them up and running at a higher gear, maybe a year from now, I just don't see the value in it. Challenges are always changing. You're gonna need different teams, different feats. I don't know. It's weird decisions, but you know what? The way I look at it, it's one less Omicron you need to invest in. And then moving down Leia, now that we're definitely out of the crate dragon raid, there is just no reason to invest in Leia. You shouldn't be playing the crate raid. You should be playing the territory, the freaking, not hot, the Endor. Thank you, Gary. The Endor raid, which again, it's going out of favor. And then once Endor goes away, everyone should be doing the boo. I don't care where you're at. Just put the different modifier on. Everyone should be participating in the latest and greatest raid. So Bausch Leia, unfortunately, is a wasted Omicron at this point. It was great when it came out. Don't get me wrong. It was very helpful. I liked it, but I haven't used it in months upon months upon months. And it's one of those Omicrons that are just going to go away to the sands of time. But ladies and gentlemen, again, that is going to be our all Omicrons ranked best to worst. And while we go ahead and pop that graphic up one more time for you guys, another word for CG, as I always like to kind of say this here and there, we need some more legacy Omicrons. What I mean by that is legacy characters getting some sort of Omicron booster. When Omicrons first came out, it made a lot of sense. It was a lot of fun. It helped make old characters relevant again. And now I feel like we barely get one character a year. That's an old character that gets a much needed facelift. So I'm hoping next time we talk, there might be get a legacy Omicron. I know we talked a lot about maybe a Grandmaster Yoda rework around the corner, maybe an Omicron boost. Which, let's be honest, the guy needs at least a new unique ability. The overall kit for Yoda's fine, so who knows? That might be the next opportunity, my friends. But until then, leave that like, comment down below, subscribe so you're not missing a thing. And I'm always forgetting the last thing. Oh, yeah. Always remember how it's great to be in the Empire today.
Oh, it's great to be in the Empire today. The sun never sets.